Hey everybody, welcome back to Workers and Resources. I should be saying that to myself because I've had like, I don't know, about a 2-week break from this game. Just trying out some other titles, trying to get you guys some variety of content, and I spent the last 8 days or so just doing nothing but some sponsored content for Paradox for Prison Architect 2. Pretty excited. I've got like 200 hours in that game now just trying to make content for it. It's been crazy. So welcome back to this. Yeah, we still have our long-term project, and this is nowhere near close to done. So I have a bullet point list next to me of the things I want to cover today. Maybe I'll stick to it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So the rail over here, which is, for reference, this is where the airport's going to be. Charlemagne's North is over there. This train track coming over from across the river in Magnetograd is going to meet up with the track over here. This tunnel is done. And eventually this rail will wrap around and go that way to a port that's going to be over here. Very important port for us because this is going to be where we have a ton of aluminum being made. And maybe not a ton, maybe like, 1,000 tons of aluminum, right? And we're going to have a bunch. That's going to actually be the better measurement, is just to say a bunch of aluminum made. And the aluminum is, of course, how we're going to make our own helicopters and planes. And, of course, we'll have the airport manufacturing production line, whatever you want to call it, right over here on this side somewhere. Probably, I don't know, maybe biased a little bit this way. As long as it's not in the way of the runway, I don't care. To figure out where the runway is going to be. Most likely this lake gets pushed back. It's not going to be this big. It'll probably, this lake will probably end up being more like this, like more of a pill shaped as opposed to like a, I don't know, a water balloon like it is right now. It's kind of look like a water balloon shape. It's not quite round, right? It's a little bit. It's almost like it's squeezed slightly because you're holding it, right? But it's going to be probably more pill shaped than anything else, just to make more room for the runways and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, we've got that happening right over here, and then today, I've just got a lot of work to do with, like, there's just so much work to do in Magnetograd, and the rails over here are going to be done now. We're going to start getting this rail system brought out this way, which will eventually go that direction and under the river and then out that way, so we can get over towards this area, because I got like a really cool paradise city sort of thing in my head many years in game from now. There's three lakes here. I mean, touristy much? 3 lakes, all right? So maybe we could do something with that, and then the train tracks will go out that way to help provide them with resources too. And then the last thing I'll say about the airport is, because I've had a few people so far, like in the past, ask me about getting planes and airports and stuff. And airports in this game, in real life maybe not the case, but in this game, airports are probably the least efficient, least effective means of everything except tourists. So, like, if you want tourists in your city, airports are fine for that. But overall, the way airports are balanced, and really it's kind of the way airports are in general anyway, in comparison to other means of transport, which is why we don't really use it for all that much transport. Like, relative to ships and trains, planes do almost nothing, like, worldwide, except when it comes to passengers. That's where planes shine, is we're bringing people around. And I plan to do that a little bit. The people who are over here, living over here, I would love to, and just to do it. It's not like a really efficient means. You shouldn't necessarily do it. More like a troll. I love that face, dude. I don't want to ever change it. Over here, right? I would like to have another city over here, near Izia. I have no idea how to say that. It's probably a horrible pronunciation there, but I'm going to call it Izia. And over here near Izia, I would like to get another town going over here. And to get workers here initially, we can get the people who live in Charlemagne's North and the people who live on the other side of the river at Magnetograd, which I guess is going to be called Zazhalis. I'm going to change the name of that too. We'll call this Magnetograd North. We're going to have them be going to the airport, and then they can use the airport to go to work. Have them fly to work over there. So they're going to be flying in planes every day to get to work. I think that's great. So in addition to bringing tourists in, we're also going to send workers out, and we can send workers all around the Republic with planes just to do it. I think it'd be fun. It's going to be a very expensive process, and that's what this area is for. Okay, let's check in really quick on construction with Magnetograd. I've got some parking lots going through here. I'd like to get some personal car involvement in this area a little bit more, primarily to get more workers in this area consistently, and also to get more workers for or just to get workers moving around in ways where they otherwise couldn't, because it's possible, because this station is so small. Tram stops only have 500 people waiting. Sounds like it's a lot, 500 people, but I got a feeling it's going to be full. And so to help alleviate that, some of these guys can go on their own personal cars. In addition to that, I want a way for us to start expanding on the other side of the river. And the easiest way to do that is just going to plop a couple parking lots down and just let them drive over here. And so that's the thing about personal cars. There's like pros and cons to it. And I realize in real life, there's probably going to be a lot of people in the comments who are just like anti-car for some reason. I personally love the freedom of mobility. Maybe, I don't know. America, I guess. I don't know. My mindset. I love it. But I can understand the positions of people who don't love it. I get that. I understand your position, but for my life, I love it. And so what I have is I'm going to have extra parking lots that are, over here to allow people over here to just the freedom of mobility to get over here and do and work where they want. And that's the initial part. Eventually, once we get some density over here and we can start, working on different things, then fine. We start, raising density. We start getting more people over here. We start looking at public transportation. But public transportation is not worth setting up when you have a really low density. It's just not worth it. So we're not going to bother with it until we have density. Now, I'm trying to figure out what this track builder is complaining about, because there's plenty of... are you trying to... Yeah, you should be going... Oh, I see. I see why you're whining. Well, you're going to be in the way now, aren't you? Yep, you sure are. Back to the workplace you go. I mean, I honestly thought you were just working on this rail, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, next thing I want to set up is... real quick, I have to show you. Also, there's a tunnel here. If you're wondering where this train track goes, you might have saw a tunnel. The tunnel is going under, and it eventually connects to the tunnels right here. So now these trains will be able to get over here quicker. Which brings me to why. Why would they need to go over here quicker? Well, this whole time, and there's even some reconstruction going on because I had these things built way early. Way too early. The whole time we have been creating chemicals. And we have forklifts that are, moving those chemicals around in various different places. Not very busy yet, but if all these things start running at 100%, it definitely will be busier. And throughout that time, we've been making plastics. And so we have a plastics factory here. And that plastics factory has now over 100 tons of plastics in it. So that would be very valuable to this area over here. And my electrification efforts to get the rails electrified is dependent on us getting a good amount of electrical components. I don't want to spend, 50 million rubles on all the electrical components to electrify my rails. So I've been doing it incrementally, slowly, over time. And as long as I'm still expanding my rail network to go out more places, I'm not bothering to invest the time into electrifying other things. I'm almost done expanding. With this being completed and having this loop completed and having this tunnel completed, I will have my rail network done. I will be done expanding it, at least until it comes time to get things over here. I do want to build this out a little bit just to get into this station. But after that, I'm done expanding electrification, or I'm sorry, I'm done expanding my rail network for like many years, because I'm just to the point now where I have to start using better what I already have instead of adding more. And also, we're also at that point getting quite far away to the point where a rail construction office way over here is starting to look very inefficient. And so when the existing projects that are already done for rail, I'm not going to add any more rail. When the existing projects are already done and we get our rail network out, I'm thinking of moving our rail construction office And I haven't figured out where I'm going to move it yet. But because we have so much rail and we have so many options, the idea was to put it right here. And because this gets me way out in this area, of course, so that I can start doing the rails over this way more, start doing the rails over this way more, and start getting this area set up. But because it's already connected to the main network, it'll be fairly easy to just pick up right where we left off and deliver resources here. Because again, you can't just plop down a rail construction office and have it work. You have to deliver all the building materials to it. And that means you have to have the logistics set up to be able to do that. And that's why I love this location. That's why I loved having just this office. Even if they have to travel a long distance to start building, it's not that big of a deal because I don't have to travel a super long distance to deliver materials. We got to drive that distance anyway, right? There's got to be a train using fuel to go that distance anyway, to drop off the materials. So we might as well just start here with the materials and go to the building sites. And that's kind of where I've been at for now. But as we get this area more efficient, as we start ramping up production in this area, we'll start to get more electrical components. This is almost done at 256 days. We'll start to get more electrical components. And as we have that combined with steel and a really good source of gravel that's made entirely from waste. This is almost full, by the way. We really need to get this going. Do I have that helicopter's working on that? Yeah. Need to get that going. Yeah, and then there's this over here. There's gonna be a lot of I'm sorry there's a lot of talking, a lot less building in this video. Near the end, we will be building out the remainder of the expansion for ZERNOSKIY over there by checkpoint Char. Okay, we're gonna finish that at the end of this video, but I'm kind of just going over the stuff that is happening, I guess, because this is one of those games where it's sort of like you design it, you need to monitor that, and it builds it, but it takes time to build, right? And having this thing go at faster speed, it would be helpful, but it's also really bad for my game. Can't move. So I tend to let it run at max speed when I don't want to do anything. That tends to be where I'm at on that. These tram roads look pretty cool. I think they look pretty neat. Remember, cars will drive slower on those roads. They won't drive on this one at all, but they'll drive slower on these roads. And so they're going to cars will prefer to take other roads. And it should create a situation where the trams and cars don't conflict very often. At least I'm kind of hoping that's the deal. I also want to have, I think, another parking lot over here by the hospital, just to allow people to drive over here. I would love to put a helicopter here, but there's actually not enough room. I've tried every combination of position I can think of, and there is not enough room for it. So I won't be doing a helicopter here. But that's okay, because we can just do other things here. That's fine. Let's do a large parking lot, and we'll do it. Man, but I loved it. This, can you just work? Pretty please. Yeah, like this. I'm just gonna have you be here. Is that a bad position for this? I feel like there won't be a whole lot of cars coming from this way, but I mean, maybe. This may not be the best position for this. You know, let's put it over here instead. I don't want it to be near the intersection though. How about right here? Can I do it right here? Yeah, let's have it be here, and then it kind of goes out to the middle of this road. I like that. We'll have that be the case instead. This road's not done being made yet, so we're gonna have to wait on that, but yeah. And then again, parking lots here and here, and all the walking paths and stuff that are gonna go to the sports complex. That's starting to happen now too. So there's just a lot of work to happen over there. I'm gonna let it run and just let it do its thing, because I don't want to slow it down. This thing here is always confused. I can't get back home. I can't get back home. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I can teleport the constructors, the rail builders. I can teleport them. I don't need them to come all the way back home. So like if they're ever confused or whatever, it's like that saves me the entire trip. Is it cheaty? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but yeah, whatever. It's fine. So I think the bottleneck for electrical components, I'm trying to keep to my billet list, but I keep getting distracted. The bottleneck for this is workers, but when the workers count goes up, when we get a whole bunch of people working here, the bottleneck for this largely is plastics. We tend to have enough chemicals in here to keep going. We tend to have enough. The plastics always is the bottleneck because we're still buying lots of plastics, and plastics are very expensive. So to get this hooked up, and especially with 2 of them running, we're definitely going to be low on plastics. To get it hooked up to this, what I'd like to do is something I can't do because I don't have any excavators in the area, but I could maybe move some. Do we still have excavators over here? You're not confused, are you? You know, you can teleport you by. There used to be excavators over here. I wonder if there still are. No, I moved them. They are gone. Helicopters built a lot of this stuff, but it's not connected to the roads, so I kind of have to do that. As the pros and cons to helicopters is because they're not going to do any repairs. And so, you know, eventually the stuff's going to start breaking down. I'll have to rebuild it until I can get people out this way to do repairs. Yeah. It looks like it's pretty much hooked up now. Oh, also this right here. This isn't on my bullet point list, but I just saw it. And so we need to deliver coal here. This is done now. And coal has been the train distribution office all the way over where that newest one we built way over there where it's handling all the aggregate stuff. That is hooked up to this, but it's not going to deliver the coal because there's no power. So I need to put power here. So let's just take power really quick. And I think I'm going to bring it over here so it's in range of whatever the heck that is on the other side. And then we'll run, let's say a 1.5 should be fine. We'll run a 1.5 along the rail line here. And we're going to need a transformer. I think it's probably fine just to put it here. Like, what am I going to build through here? The transformer can also serve this area. There's this transformer too, which I could have maybe came off of that, but this is for renewable. This transformer here is entirely for these wind turbines. These 6 turbines feed into that. So I don't know if I really want to. Yeah, see how that works? You can kind of see how that works, I think. Wait. No. That's not how that works. Oh, sorry. I think you are the renewable one. Yeah, renewables are over there. So this one's not. This one's on grid. Yeah, that one's hooked up to the grid proper. All right, well, in that case, I don't need another one off that. We can just go a 1.5 from this side. And I want to stay on this side of the road if I can. I don't want to get in the way of possibility of moving the road over a little bit later. So bring this over here like this. I guess we'll cross on this side. Say it like that. Seems good. It might be in the way. Can I get rid of this? Can I bring you? Oh, wait, that'll work. And then be on this side. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? That's fine. And then from this side, let's connect there. Close enough. All right, so that will hook this up to power, and once it has power, then it will begin requesting, and then that office will bring the coal over here. And then when that's done, then we just need people to work here, which again, I could put a bus and have a dedicated bus route and all that, or I can just slap a parking lot down and have enough people working this building to consistently heat who it needs to heat. Easy. Very straightforward. Let's do, should we do a large one? Maybe on this side. I'm trying to figure out like what's going to be useful here. And like which direction they're coming in and all that stuff. And I'm thinking probably I don't think there's really a reason not to go large here. Like, what's the difference in material cost? 1.6 versus 1.2, and you get almost double the cars. I'm looking at steel. It's 1.6 versus 1.2. It's not even remotely double the resources. But it's like almost double the cars. So I'm just going to go big. I don't think it matters much. And we'll put it right, let's say, over here. That's probably fine. And then this will just hook up here for now. And the people should be close enough to where they can just do this. They'll walk across the highway. Yep, that's what they're going to do. There we go. I'm not sure what I just prompted to be made. Oh, it's the walking paths over here. Yeah, I'm on the walking path section, so that's why. All right, cool. So anyway, that's all that. And then so over here, to get the plastics to send that way, I have two choices. I'm going to choose both choices just at different times. So the better choice, what I'd like to do ultimately, is I want to use a different train distribution office. Okay, we have this one, and this is the one we've been using for the distribution offices, but mods exist, and I have two. I've got 50S, and I got a 50s long. I think it's 50s, not 50S, but you get it. Anyway, I got one that's like this. It's actually 97 meters in length, so it looks like this. And then I have another one that is 206 meters in length. And again, it'll have a bit more of a rural look to it, is what I'm looking for. I'm more doing this for the aesthetic reasons. Also, the anchor point in this is at the corner, which is a little bit strange, but I can work with it. And what I'm thinking of doing is having this be like right over here. For, all the reasons I said before, where, we're going to be using planes, and I'd like to have like a colony over there, or, some village over there, and maybe places over here. We can put those little dirt airfields at these different places and have the airport shipping resources out to these places really quick. No additional infrastructure required. Just plop down an airport with a small runway and let the planes bring things around, and then we'll have planes zipping around all over the place. I think it would look cool. Is it effective, efficient? No, absolutely not. But I think it would look cool. So I'd like to try that out. And this is, of course, after we have our infrastructure upgraded for planes, because they're going to use a lot of fuel. This is after all the trains are on electric. So like all the fuel we're using for trains right now would just be going to planes instead at that point. Helicopters, I think, are like one of the worst offenders for fuel. So I want to limit that a little bit. I'm really only using that for construction projects, and I'm not going to be transporting a large number of resources that way. I also don't want to transport tourists that way. It's just, again, it's really not efficient to do that. But for some planes, especially because of the speed they travel, it can be worth it, So I want to do it just because it seems cool. And so on that note, if we're going to be transporting resources and people via planes, it stands to reason we're going to want another distribution office near the airport. And that's what I think we're going to do for over here. So I want another one that's going to be kind of over here. And this one would be responsible for picking up the chemicals and sending it out that way, as well as picking up anything that we end up delivering to the airport and wanting to distribute throughout our republic. Because who knows, we might find a really good source of, bauxite somewhere. I want to ship a whole bunch of aluminum over here to make more planes. I don't know. It's a thing. All right. I want to use different buildings for different things. But I don't have an excavator in the area, and it's not going to let me do this without one. So I'm going to need that. And that's not a huge deal, but I just don't have it right now. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to come over to do the other option, which is not my long-term plan, but it could turn out to be a long-term plan. I got this locomotive here, and the last route it did was taking a metro train to a scrapping facility, and I don't want it to do that anymore. So we're going to have it come back to the long train depot instead, by scrapping facility. And what I want this to do is I want it to pick up whatever the newest one is. So not cargo wagon, all types. I want box cars. Probably just do this. Box cars right here. I believe the 270 is the newest one. We do have the 11 280s, and they're a little bit more capable, but they have that look to them like the food train, and I'm trying to keep that for the food trains. I don't know, I'm just being silly, but I want my food trains to look like that so that when I see a train going, I know if it's a crop train or not. So that's what I want. So I think we're gonna buy a bunch of 11270s. These are the newer ones, and we're gonna have this train go pick them up and then bring them back here. Why are you looking at the scrapping facility again? No. I want you to delete that stop. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's better. Go. So this train will leave. It'll go get it. It'll bring it back to this train depot, and we're gonna go buy, I think maybe 5 or 6 of those. They're probably expensive. You can't buy them used, so you have to buy them new every time. And yeah, they're 348. Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go with 6. I think we'll go with 6. 6 is enough. I also really want to expand ZERNOSKY too. I still want to do that too. There's a lot of stuff I have in my head. Gosh, you know, if the pace of the game was just, if we weren't in realistic mode, man, we'd have probably 100,000 people by now. Easily have 100,000 people by now if we weren't in realistic. But it's so much more rewarding to be in realistic mode, isn't it? It's so much more rewarding, man. It just feels so much better when it's all said and done. Okay, so this area over here is the last area on my bullet point list, I think. I've probably missed a couple of things. I'll probably go back and look at my list in a second. But this area here, I want additional people. I'm just going to go down to normal speed so it's not so glitchy for me. I want additional people here. And obviously, there's some parking lots and stuff over with this area, and we're going to have some places to work over here. And so there's going to be a little bit of parking lot stuff here. There's going to be some personal car action through this area. I actually want to see how this traffic situation is going over here. So I want to add another left turn lane here, because these guys, like the way the yields and stuff work for this intersection, it doesn't work really well for me, and I would really like it to work better. Especially when it gets really busy, you'll get long lines on these 2 busier roads because the roads to the farms and stuff have the right of way, and that's a little weird. But that's just kind of how it's organized. So before we take a look at houses here, I want to get to where traffic's not madness over here. And so we're going to switch this to a traffic light system. But before we do that, I want to get another left turn lane in here. So let's take these away, put them over here, I guess, instead. There we go. We got signs there now. Can we remove any of these? We could. I'm not going to, though. I'm all right with the way these are. But right here, we're going to come off of this, and we're going to hit. So we start with F4 on. If you're wondering how I do this, because this is a little tricky, especially when the roads are so close together. But you can do this if you have to play with F4 a lot, okay? So right where I want to start, I've got F4 enabled. Near snap is what it's called. I've got that enabled, so that allows me to snap to the individual lanes. If I disable this, I'm going to be snapping to the center of the road. So I want to snap to the lane. So enable that first. And then you're going to hold down the button and move this way. And as you move this way, then hit F4. Keep your mouse held down. And now you can be on the individual lane at the start, but not be on the individual lane as you're moving. And then you want to find a spot in the middle where it will let you do it. Right about there. And then we're going to come from this side, keep F4 off. That's going to let you kind of move around in here. At least it should. It should let me... Come on now. There's a spot here where it will work. Yeah, right there. So you just got to be really patient with it and try to get it to be right where you want it to be. There we go. And then finally, slap it into there. And then the center of the lane is fine. Now they will be able to take this and turn left. Now, they may also take this to turn around. It's not ideal, but they can do it. And there's not really a whole lot you could do to stop that unless you're willing to take this road, cross over the intersection, and connect it to that lane. I'm not really willing to do that because it looks silly. So anyway, that will give us another left turn lane, and it will look just like this one. And so we could start implementing left turn lanes in a lot of places here. If left turns are very popular, like over here, it would be probably in our best interest to add some sort of mechanism here to allow them to turn easier. And it may look silly, but man, you know what? It may also be impossible. I thought maybe it would be possible, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's just not possible. This is acting kind of like a roundabout right now. And pretty much everybody coming out of here wants to turn left. I could get them to... Oh, maybe I can come out of this intersection, come out of this and go directly to that intersection. You know, I could maybe do something like this instead. That way they wouldn't tie up traffic on this end. Let's see what that does. I don't know. We'll experiment with that. And then this is also stopped because of the light. Is the light too long here? I think the light's a little bit too long. This is 6. 6 is going to be red now. I guess it's not that bad, but I think this one here should be longer. So we'll make this one 25. See how that works out. All right, that's my ZERNOSKY traffic for the day. All right. So over here, I want to put houses. And I want to use buildings that we haven't used before. Now, I've been trying to make them a little more rural, so like not a lot of high rises. That's what I've been trying to do. I kind of deviated from that a little bit over here. I mean, this is pretty tall. I don't regret it, but I'm not going to go any taller than that. You know, like the police department should probably be the tallest building in this area, right? So I don't want to go higher than that. So high density, large buildings, if we're going to use them, they need to be, you know, not any taller than that. Like I want that to be the tallest building. So it's basically this one is what I'm using. It's the same building, slightly different looks like actually. Yeah, it's definitely not the same building. This one's bigger. How many people live here? 287. It's a 80% quality versus the one I was going to use is 87. I mean, you know, you get more workers for it, but I think it's fine. I wanna just use different things. So maybe we'll even go at like an 84 and use one of these. We could use like 2 of these instead. That would work for me. I don't think I've used it yet. So what I want to do is I want to find a location for this where it gets me a sufficient amount away from the pollution of this nuclear uranium mining area, but still close enough to where they can walk to it, so I can have like really good production for uranium, right? And in addition to that, I also need to get close enough to where they can walk to the hospital and the sports complex and possibly the fire department and the store, right? It'd be really nice if they could walk to the store as well. And I think from right over here, if we connect here, you can see it. The store is 333 away from that spot. So we probably can't get more than like say here away. So the houses kind of have to stay in this area and possibly here. I think we can maybe get like some pedestrian bridges or something, some tunnels, and get them to that store. I'd love them to be able to just walk to that store. Right, that's what I'm trying to do. So tell you what we'll try to do here. I'm going to put a house right here and another one right over here on this side, like this. Leave a little bit of a gap, but maybe we'll mirror it just to make it look different. All right, so what we have here, I just need to see the ranges. If I was to put a walking path straight across the tracks like this, I would want this to go up as a bridge. Yeah. So I would want this to be kind of like this. We're using the one with lights so that they have the maximum walking distance possible. And then I'm going to use concrete for this one because I think it looks a little more rustic. And then we may be able to go over top of this. Come on now. Yeah, like that. I'm looking to go over top of this. I think it looks cool. But with the electrical poles there, well, will it let me? It will let me. It'll let me do it. But how does it look? I mean, it's kind of cool. I think so. I think it's neat. And then the other way for this pedestrian one, because that's not the only direction. I want to go this way too. We should be able to get a bridge that takes people over here too. And again, just nearby all the houses is what I'm looking for walking path's sake. Can I get on this side? Maybe. Something like this. Right? And then this side, yeah, it kind of connects to both sides. On this side. There we go. So I want to have a way for pedestrians to walk across this and not have to, you know, be on the road. So I'm looking to do something like this. And then on this side, they're still going to have to walk across the road, aren't they? I mean, I think. Unless I can somehow... Maybe I go like this? Does this walking path meet up here? See, it's going to have to connect to the road somewhere anyway. Because of the distance. So this might not be worth it. So it's going to have to be a tunnel. It's always a tunnel, dude. Why do we try to avoid tunnels when they're always the answer? Like, there's no reason to avoid the tunnel. The tunnel is the answer always. So just stop trying to avoid it. I need to get you connected. Yep, so you can be built. Cool. And then we'll just do that. Oh, don't be that way. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. There we go. So we'll use tunnels instead. It's just the way it's gonna have to be. Which is good because then I don't have to like try to figure out like which direction on the roads it goes and all that stuff. They're not gonna use a tunnel here. I still think that crossing is good. So it'll be this part here we keep. And then from this part, we have the pedestrian underpass that will start right here. I think it's a good spot to start it. Right, like... Ooh, really? Wow, you really require a ton of distance there, don't you? Yeah, you do. Jeez. All right, well, if you're going to make me be that far away, I'm going to do something like this. That way, people who are turning, they don't have to go in the intersection anymore. So if you want to get into this area, I mean, you should have been off the road anyway, right? Yeah. Is there a reason to ever turn right here? Because if they're going this way, they're gonna turn here anyway. So I don't think there's a reason to do this. You know what? The AI does some crazy things, though. We'll probably see it happen. I'm gonna assume that they're smarter than that, though. Let's take... Because, I mean, their decisions are not human decisions, right? They're the math. It's mathematics, right? Like, the game is calculating routes. So I would assume that it's smart enough not to do something like that. All right, now here's the problem with this tunnel is there's a rail coming through here. So we want to come across here, but we don't want to interfere with that. That's a bit of a problem. I didn't see that. I knew it was here. I just didn't know it was right here. So, yeah. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? And there's a whole bunch of stuff underground here. We can go deeper. I just was hoping to avoid that, but we can do it. So like that, and then maybe we come around this way. I guess the real question, though, is whether or not it's going to connect. That's too deep. I have to go way down. I can't put this here because the rail is in the way. I have to put this a little bit further away. I need to go like I mean, maybe just right here. Yeah, we'll try it here instead. And then tunnel goes 1, 2, 3. Got to go underneath that. Wow. You're just not going to have it, are you? Nope. It's the slope. There it goes. That'll work. From there. And then to there. Or there. Let's go there. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a more direct path for all these guys. And so now what I want to see after connecting all these up, what I want to see is whether or not both of these can reach the supermarket. Can you reach the market by walking? Oh, hang on. I got real confused there. There we go. Like that. And then you're connected already. Yep. Okay. So can you reach... Hi, autosave. Can you reach by walking? You can. Right there. 316. Actually plenty of room, which is encouraging because it means that pretty much for sure these guys can. Okay. Excellent. Next question I have is whether this can connect. It can. But can it connect in a way that allows it to work all these other places? In order to do that, it's going to have to get to this. So we're going to need you to get... I guess you'll have to hit the road here and then walk to this path. Unless I can find a way to... Actually, I can find a way, right? We can do this. We can do it like this. Like this. There we go. Well, it's a little straighter that way too. Cool. All right, and then this path goes from here to there. I guess is fine. I'd like it to come up a little higher. There we go. From there to there. If I do that, can you walk to work? You can. Yes, that's this building. Yep, you can get there. Perfect. So now these two houses can walk to uranium. I don't know if they're going to be close enough to get polluted by it. It's likely. It is likely. There's a hospital right here. And that hospital is walking distance for most people. Looks like it's not for this house, but that's okay. We have ambulances that can reach this place as long as we connect it to this road as well. So we will need to connect it to the road. And for that, we will just come off this corner and go that way with it. And now the ambulances can reach these guys as well. Okay? Cool. So now that I've established that, let's get the walking path to go across the tracks as well here. And so I'm going to have this go away, this go away, this go away. We want you to go straight up and across the tracks if you can, like that. There we go. And then you can now connect here and here. And now we have our path across on this side, which we can put more houses along this area right here. I like it. Yeah, I think that's going to work great. Probably don't need this. We have the option to use it later, but we probably don't need it. So let's leave that alone like that. And then figure out what else we're going to put over here. So I've been saying I want to use different buildings that I haven't used before. And in the medium area, there are these new buildings, these flats that kind of have this sort of bend to them. I think they look interesting. I'd like to try and use them. And I think for this situation right here where it's like a corner, I almost feel like this building was like made for purposes like this, you know? The only problem is that it has to be able to connect to that right there. This has to be... We have to be able to get to that right there because that's the only way that the houses that are on this side will be able to reach all the same stuff is if they can get to that part. That way they can walk across this and over, or they can go that way with the tunnel. Yeah. So if we're going to use these buildings, I kind of have to pick my spots with those walking paths because they're not in the best spots. I feel like the walking path, if they were in the concave part of this, it would make more sense to me. But or at least on both sides, I'm not sure why you wouldn't have an entrance on both sides of this building. Why the entrances would be only on one side? Kind of annoying, but it's all right. We'll make it happen. And if we can just maybe we'll do it this way. And it's kind of against the curve, isn't it? It is kind of against the curve. Probably shouldn't do it that way. Oh, here's an interesting. I got an idea. First off, do we need this? You know what? Let's do it this way. Uh-huh. There we go. And like that. Now we have a crossing right to this part too. All right, excellent. So I think what I'll do now, and we'll just leave this here just so I have that connection point, is let's go into this building again. And we're gonna have it be. I want to do like a half circle, but it's not gonna happen because of the shape of the building. I think it's a really cool idea to do this because of the shape of the building. So if I kind of make the shape like this, and again, it puts the walking paths on the wrong side, so I'm gonna have to leave a little bit of extra space that I wouldn't have otherwise left. But if I maybe go out like this. Wondering if I can have this wrap. It doesn't quite look like the angle is going to support me doing what I wanted to do. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it will. I'm going to have to figure out how it butts up against it. Maybe leave a space for a walking path to go between here. To get to the sports complex, right? We got to be able to get to the sports complex. Yeah, this will almost work. It actually kind of does. Right? They just kind of wrap around, which is interesting. And now I could put like a kindergarten right here, and all of these guys can have that as a kindergarten for this. So I could go and put, say, a 180 school. You can go in the middle here, right? Something like this. I don't know which. I guess right here is fine. Yeah, right up against it. If I wanted to leave more room for like a sports complex, that kind of stuff, like, you know, football fields and stuff, probably should have at least a little bit of that. It's in the residential area section. 48 and 6, 5 and 1, 1 and 22 is a pretty damn good ratio. Let's get you here. And then the kindergarten could go next to that over here. Right here. And hopefully that allows me to make this go. Well, we don't need it to go around like this, right? Because all the walking paths are on this side. That's why it looks a little weird. I wish it was on the other side, but it is what it is, man. We're going to do it the best we can. Let's have this go. Have you wrap around. Ooh, come on now. Let me have that. Really? I mean, I got room here, right? Oh, I don't even have room for the walking path? Oh, that's a problem anyway, isn't it? You know what? Let me tweak this. I'll be right back. Because of how the hitboxes work on these angled buildings, you can actually clip them into each other and make it look like it's all one complex. So I actually have two buildings here, but they're going to clip into each other in a way that kind of makes them merge together. And so I've got them to be like really close together and matched up the sides, at least in the yellow imprint part of it anyway, so that we basically have two big buildings instead of four smaller buildings. I think it looks interesting. Certainly looks different, right? So we've got that kindergarten here and then the sports complex here. And then we should now anyway be able to get this path to come all the way around. Yep, there we go. All the way around like that and connect here. And then I just need all this to be with the lights as well. Let's have you though be, I want the lights on the other side to come from this side to do that. Oh, I mean, as long as you're uniform, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I just didn't want it to be like on the outside here and then the inside there. So I'm good with that. All right, good. And then we have all of this. Yep, and then that. That's pretty good. And then to reach the sports complex over here on this side, we can do the same thing with the pedestrian overpass. I'm good with that, just to keep people off the road, right? This is a walking path already, and so we could just have this connect here, say, like this, and then have it come all the way over here like that. And, you know, just have the walking path go from here. Now everybody should be able to reach everything. Like that. Everybody should be able to reach everything now. If I pave this especially, you know. So let's test it. Can you reach that? You can. And you can reach the store. You can reach the hospital. You can reach the fire department. You can't reach the police station, but that's fixable because you can already get here. And that's 308. And the only reason you can only get there is because this isn't paved. So I think once I pave this all the way in here, you'll probably be able to access the police department too, you know? But in addition to that, I wonder if I can go between these. Can I? Yeah. Oh yeah, easily then. Oh, for sure. Because then this can just go. Yeah. Then we can take this one from here. Like, well, I mean, I'll pull this back if I have to here. Oh, I can't. This is part of the complex. Yeah. I would want this to connect then. Yeah, right, like that. Done. Yeah, and then you can connect here. Or whichever. Like, you could probably... You don't need to connect. You're part of the complex. This is all one building. So it's just confusing me. So yeah. So like, if you can get here, then you can get there. It's no problem. So all that being done, then I could just have you go and connect like this. And now we have access to the police department as well. Yep. I don't even have to pave this dirt part here. I can leave that because they'll have that too. So that is a perfect spot for housing. So the only thing left to do now for this area, right? And I can hear you guys screaming through the screen, waste. I place it last. Chill. We're going to, I leave adequate space for it too. There's space right here. There's space right here. Okay. There's space back behind here. We need water and sewer. Some of these buildings will reach the water and sewer. If I look at sewer, pretty much 3 out of 4 on this side. Yeah, this one over here doesn't reach. I have to keep in my head until they're built anyway, that they're not 2 buildings, they're 4. And the kindergarten reaches, which is important. We don't need the sports complex to reach, so everything's good there. But clearly there are still 3 houses that do not reach. And so we'll have to fix that. And then we also have the water connections, and the water connections only get to the 3 as well. They do not reach the kindergarten. So for that, we have a couple of taps that I've already installed, right? Because I'm thinking ahead. We look underneath. The water tower has 1 out remaining, so it can feed another one. So if I was to, for example, put a water substation, it's going to have to give water to these things too, is what I was initially thinking. But hey, residential neighborhood as well. So if we wanted to do something like this with the water, we could. Just right over here, this reaches everything. So I can do something like that. I have to find a spot where it actually let me hit it though. Does this reach everything? Let's zoom in a little bit more. You reach everything, right? Yeah, right there. And right there. So I could put it right here and it would be fine, is what I'm seeing. Let's rotate this over and we'll pop it right here. We'll maybe come in a little bit. There. All right, so from there, that's our water connection and then our sewage tank. The sewage tank really only needs to cater to this area and then these extra houses. So I'm thinking probably right about here should be good. Yep. It should work right here. Now, the downside for this sewage tank is that this port here is a little higher than I would have liked when I placed it. So I had to use a pump before. That's what this is, right? Sewage pump, bringing it from low. And because of where it's located, it's like 12 meters high and everything else around us is like 9 or 10. So I have to use a pump pretty much every time I connect this. It's a little bit of a bummer, but it's not something we can't work around. So I'll place a pump right here and hopefully it's, oh, gotta do it this side. Hopefully that's good enough. It always has to go downhill, remember? So, yep, that works. And then we'll take a medium one, I guess is fine from here. Pop it in right here like that. And that takes care of that. Now we just need the water hookup. So get the water, we'll go medium, it's fine from this. It's gonna go around. underneath all that stuff. Yep, there we go. And that will be our water hookup for all these people. Very cool. That's it. That's all it takes. And walking paths, of course, to connect all these things together so we can build them. So we'll just do that really quick and be done with it. There we go. I'm not sure what that is. What's going on there? Oh, that's the pump. Pump needs to be connected to the road as well. There we go. Okay. So we've designed the residential district. It has access to sports. It has access to health, fire coverage, police department. It can go directly to this store. We should have, I think, enough capacity in this building to cater to all the people that are here. These are medium capacity buildings on this side, mostly medium. I think almost all medium capacity everywhere here. They're not large. And I think overall, for the number of people shopping, we should be able to handle that just fine with this one. So very good. Everything else we build in this area then is going to be to help the quality of life of all of those people. And I think we need something along the lines for like culture, outdoors, fun, things like that. I don't want to put anything for people living here since it's too close to the uranium processing. And over here, we're kind of getting far away from services. I'll have to start reinstalling services. I don't really want to do that. It's kind of in this weird spot where it can't, it's like physically close enough to reach these buildings, but it can't because of just the distance it has to cover. It's just out of range. I think it's like 420 meters or something. But you'll have to deal with a tunnel, which is not maximum movement speed as far as I'm aware. And then we don't have enough room to put walking paths, so you'll have to have the 87% from the asphalt roads to get there. It won't work. My testing says a building here doesn't reach this building. So I'm going to say that we put instead parking lots. Yeah, we have parking lots right over here, and we're already using them to have workers to this building. But there's no reason why we can't have these guys walk here to get to cars, and then they can use them to drive around places, right? We can have parking lots over here, and people can get out and walk to work and go to various different places, and they can park here to get into these buildings and stuff here as well. So we can do stuff like that. And then we also have for state infrastructure, there was something else I wanted to do here. I could put another prison. Not here. What was I thinking? I was thinking the prison was going to be somewhere else. Maybe I was thinking of over here. I forget. I thought I could put another prison over here somewhere. Yeah, maybe it could be over here somewhere. You wouldn't really want it to be in a heavily polluted area because then your prisoners get really sick. And you do want to rehabilitate them. You don't want to, like, you don't want to kill them off. You do want them to be happy, at least somewhat. Not City Hall. There was something else I wanted to put here, but I just don't remember what it was. Maybe orphanages would actually be a good idea. You don't want to hurt the prisoners, okay? But the orphans are fine. Okay, maybe not the orphans. A little come out looking like Ninja Turtles happening here as soon as they get to be teenagers. Okay, well, how about... I feel like I'm going to need another one of these orphanages, right? Like, I just feel like the orphanage has to happen. We could put it right here. This isn't a bad spot for it. Right next to the sports complex isn't a bad spot for it. And then on top of that, we have we already have the connection to the sports complex anyway. We don't need these walking paths. So this is actually fine. You can put another orphanage right here. And then everybody can work here. Or not everybody, but a lot of people can work here. Just do something like this for the connection for deliveries. And then for the walking path stuff, we just hook it up to this. Done. And now they can work there, Another orphanage is in place. There, everyone can rejoice. And I think for driving over here, you have to always, when you're thinking about personal cars, I'm going to wrap this video up because I'm getting long now. But when you're thinking about personal cars, you have to think about, you can't think about where they're going to go and where they're coming from, because they are going to go and they're going to be to and from like wherever they want to go. You can't really control it. What you have to figure out though is if there's a bunch of vehicles coming in and out of this building, where is the opportune place for them to be doing that? On a one-way street is ideal, right? But if it's a really busy one-way street, maybe not as ideal. And you want it to be far enough away from intersections as well. I think this is a really good position. We get the one-way street effect of this area. This is a two-way, but as long as we're coming off of this street, we're fine. And I think because it's, you know, it's close to chemicals and things like that, we'll have cars moving down the one-way streets and moving over, and we're not super like full on vehicles that way. Plus, they can also go this way later too, down this highway. So I like this. I would say that maybe we might have some conflicts in that if they want to go that direction, they're going to have a difficult time doing so. But I might be able to get around that with like a one-lane road that kind of comes out that way, or maybe a tunnel. Not going to use the tunnel. Not going to use the tunnel. Probably what will happen is I'll probably make this an intersection. I mean, this is already a dirt one. And so, I mean, I guess they could just do that. They could come off this road and then decide to turn on the dirt. It already exists because of the field being there. So I guess it's not that big of a deal, but I think this is a really good spot for another, you know, place for majority of cars to be. So I'm going to turn it this direction. I'm going to bring it back far like this. And if I put it right about here, I think, I'm trying to figure out where that's going to be. Right about here should work. If I put it here, can this reach? Okay, that can reach. Good. So we'll want that, and then we have to connect it with dirt. Oh, you're not going to let me do that, are you? Come on now. Give me that connection. Nope. Okay, we'll have to do it this way. Because you have to be able to reach it to build it. So there you go. And then you will be asphalt and asphalt. Why? 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 Don't worry about it. There's no reason to do that. If they're parking here, they can certainly walk there. It's fine. But I want them to be able to walk this way too, you know. So let's maybe we'll have asphalt from this side. That's fine. We can do something like this. Angle it about like that, and bring it straight down this way. You know, that's good. I like that. That looks pretty good. And then we can just hook it up like this. All right. But here's what I want to do with this. Here's what I got in my head right now. If I bring this road out just a little bit, let's say bring it out about there, I could take a one-way street off of this road right after the orphanage. Ooh, it's gonna be, there we go. Right after the orphanage, we can bring you down into that side. And then from here, we can bring you out and around and hook you up to this side, like this. All right, so I'm trying to get the curve, and it's not working. There it goes. All right, so I realize they're going to slow down here, but they're not really going fast anyway. They're coming out of a parking lot. So if they're coming this direction, if they're leaving, they have to go this way anyway. So like, you might as well have them avoid this where other traffic is going and bypass it directly. All right, so we can bring it all the way around with an extra lane and then have you wrap that way, but also come in and go that way. And then on this side, we can have you go that way. Is that how I want to do that? I think so. That way, these cars here. Ooh, you know what? Maybe we should flip that. How did I do it in the big city? Because I've planned this out really well in the big city. How did I do this over here? Oh, I missed this part, so I'll have to do that there too. I did it somewhere else, though, right here. So you come in first on the center, and then out on this side. I don't think that's helpful. That's not very helpful, actually, because it's a different situation. So I guess I could just I'll just kind of wing it. I think ultimately I would rather these guys enter as late as possible and have these guys enter as early as possible. So I think actually what I'd prefer to do is this and then in this. I believe that would be better. So we'll have that. That way, if these guys want to go that way, then they'll just right here and off they go, right? And if they want to come around this direction, then they'll just hit this. They'll never engage with this road at all, and then they'll be coming down this way. I think that'll ultimately be a really good way to handle traffic coming through there. So again, you don't want to focus on, you know, where are cars going. unless you have very few parking lots, then it's kind of obvious where they're going, right? Because they have to go to another parking lot. But if you have a lot of parking lots like I do, and they're kind of spread all over the place, you can't control where they're going to go. So instead, you have to control the flow in and out of that structure so that it doesn't interfere with everything else. And that's, again, these are other things that I've learned from just like interacting with personal cars in ZERNOSKIY here and trying to figure out, like, you know, is this a mistake? Yes, it is. It's definitely a mistake, which is why this is a one-way road only some of the time, because I'm trying to cover up my mistake and try to fix it. But it's ultimately not working very well here, will work much better over here. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for your patience and for sticking with me all this time. We're almost at 140 videos. My God. So many more to go. So many more things I want to do. Take care. We'll see ya. Bye-bye. Oh, last thing at the end. Totally forgot to mention it. The train that we did, all the boxcars and stuff. It's picking up plastic and also 10% load of the chemicals that are over here and shipping it over now. So it comes over here, waits till it's loaded, goes over there and dumps it off. And then it comes back and does the same thing. So that train is operational and doing its thing now. Okay. It's over here. It's deciding to go this way and then go that way because this side over here is not completely done yet. Right. It's got to get the track done over here. But once this track is completed, it should go this way. At least I hope. So anyway, that's it. All right. Bye.